Okay, I'll just share them in a minute. So we were discussing about the scientific benefits of chanting, isn't it? How to control the mind we were discussing yesterday. Okay. I think we'll read this superconscious, subconscious, conscious mind. We'll start with that again. Then we proceed further. Huh? Please. One of you read, please.
Superconscious, subconscious, and conscious mind. The mind, mana, has three aspects: superconscious mind, the conscious mind, and the subconscious mind. The subconscious serves as a storehouse of memories and past experiences, intelligence, buddhi.
So I will go line by line. It's a very important section of this chapter. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharne Nirvishya Paschatya Anchagalvatarubhyascha Kripasindubhya Evacha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Subconscious mind serves as a storehouse of memories, past experiences. And intelligence performs function of discriminating and making decisions. Okay. But subconscious mind is a storehouse of the past memories. All of you students, from your childhood up to now, you have got many experiences in your life. Some of you may think, oh, it's very nice to have a pet dog or a pussy cat at home. You might have picked up a puppy dog and kept on your lap, and you may not fear. There are others who have a perception that dogs are dangerous. One should never come even near a dog. Dogs generally bark and dogs generally bite. That is your perception. And others may pick up a dog and keep on the lap and say, oh, puppy dogs are very good. They're very cute, very friendly. You may think just a diametrically opposite perception, isn't it? And some people have experiences. Saintly people are very good. They are mild-natured, they are humble, they are tolerant, they are patient, they are kind, they are holy, they are godly, they are pure-hearted, and all that. And some people have perceptions that, oh, saintly people are simply parasites in society. They just eat and sleep. What good do they do? They are dogmatic. They are fools. They have no education. They just live on the society. This is another type of outlook. So you will find we all have had different type of experiences in our life. And as you travel across the globe to different parts of the world and then meet different people, gradually your experiences broaden. Now you all were in India, in some college in India, and you were born in a certain house. When you were only in your house, you had limited perception. Then when you went to school and college, your perception is a little bit widened. Now you are traveling to the West now. So you are getting to see even a bigger world now. So gradually our experiences unfold, pleasurable and painful experiences in our life. Good and bad experiences. And sometimes a very strong experience of pleasure and a strong experience of pain. So which are deeply registered in our mind and etched in our mind. Like somebody chastised you very heavily. That leaves a deep impression of victim, becoming a victim and pained by somebody. Like somebody joined in a relationship of boy and girl love, and then they got married, and then the boy came to know she already had an affair with some others, and she indulged. Then he divorces her. Then after divorcing the man, in his life it leaves a deep impression because it's a failure in life he feels. On the other hand, somebody in his life, he had a good experience. He met a professor who brought him to a greater height in life and career, and then he made him a great hero. Then he is very grateful to the professor. So we have good and bad experiences in life. So the mind is a storehouse of purva anubhav, previous experiences, both pleasurable and painful. And the mind also forms perceptions based on the experiences. What are the perceptions? Good. One of you will say, ISKCON is good or bad. So you all will say, oh, ISKCON is very good. When I was in Boston, I stayed in ISKCON temple. Vanmal Pandit Babu was the president there. And Radha Gopi Vallabha. We had very good classes also. And we had chanting, dancing, very nice prasad. ISKCON is a very good society. That is your experience. And then there are other people. ISKCON are very bad people, they are fanatics, they chastise you, and they don't have a broad perspective, they don't accommodate everybody, they find fault with everybody, parampara, they say, there is another person, So you will find, based on our pleasurable and painful, good and bad experiences, we form perceptions. And the perceptions of good or bad. Now, there is nothing like totally good or totally bad. You can't say like that on a material platform. Spiritual platform, total good is there. Krishna is total good. Sum total of all good. So therefore he is called as Samam Bonam. Samam Bonam means one who has not even an iota of bad. Everything is good about him. There's one song, beautiful song. Adharam madhuram, vadanam madhuram, nayanam madhuram, hasitam madhuram, hridayam madhuram, gamanam madhuram, madhuradhipaterakhilam madhuram. So the song says, Adharam madhuram means when Krishna plays on his flute on a moonlit night in the Kadambakanan forest of Vrindavan, his lips are shining in the moonlit night and it looks very beautiful. And his face is like a full moon also. It's called Radha Vrindavan Chandra. And his glance is a loving glance upon all living beings, non-envious glance. So that his glance is very beautiful. And his smile is very beautiful. And his heart is very beautiful, he says, because when Sudama comes to Dwaraka, Krishna runs there to embrace him and welcome him, put him on his own seat, wash his feet, feed him prasad. So his heart is very beautiful. And Madhuradipater Akhilam Madhura. Everything about him is sweet, he says. There is nothing about him that is not sweet. Even if he punishes somebody, even that punishing is sweet. Like a Putana, Rakshasi came to kill him by sparing her breast with poison, while in the name of pretext of feeding him milk. But he gave that Putana Moksham, Punya Katamritam. He says that it is such an auspicious pastime that he delivered her, and he says, Avappa Jananim Gatim. He's saying, Janani means he gave her the position of a mother. Avappa means she obtained the position of a mother or a nurse in the spiritual world. This is the sweetness of Krishna's pastime. Even if he appears to be punishing somebody, that punishment also is so sweet. Like you see Vamana Deva, when Bali Maharaj came, Vamana Deva, asked for 3 steps of land, and he measured the upper and lower planets in 2 steps, and in the 3rd step he had no place to keep. But finally, what happened at the past time, if you see, Bali Maharaj surrendered to Lord Vamana, and Lord made Bali king of Sitola Loka, and Lord became his servant as a watchman, daily giving him darshan, and the next life Lord made him Indra. So the Lord's pastimes are so sweet that even the so-called punishment also is nectarian. He's very sweet about him. Therefore, everything about him is sweet. If punishment can be so sweet, what is because of his embrace? How it will be? So, therefore, we can see that in absolute platform or a spiritual platform, there is total good, we can say. Krishna is a total good. But in the material world, because there's a mixture of good and bad, all of us, if you see, we may have some good qualities, we may be having some bad qualities. We have an angel within us, we have an animal within us. So we have a combination of some good, some bad. And we are slowly trying to get rid of the bad side and bring out the total good side in the material existence. So because of this, the mind, after having undergone pleasurable and painful experiences, remembers both extreme experiences. When you think of pleasurable experiences, you are joyful. When you think of painful experiences, you are pained. So in this way, and you form perceptions also, good and bad. So you all had a experience in America, in Boston, a good experience you carry. Some people may carry some bad experience. Maybe one devotee mistreated them, immaturely behaved with them. Then they will say totally ISKCON is bad. They will label ISKCON. ISKCON is totally bad because that one devotee treated me like this. Based on that one experience, they will determine the good or bad of an organization totally. You can see that. So then first I told you mind has experiences. Then the mind has perceptions. And the mind has desires. Like when you are a child, you have a desire to play with a toy. Then when one becomes young, school-going, college-going boy, there is attraction for romantic activities. Then one becomes a head of a club or something like that. Then you have a desire to protect, desire to defend, desire to fight out for the right causes. Then later on, when you marry, then one has a desire for money, or one has a desire to become an entrepreneur. When you complete your studies, you will have a desire for a good placement job and high-paying money, everything. In this way, you will find that desires keep on changing in life, multiple desires. We all come with one desire, it multiplies into a dozen. And then eventually it becomes 2 dozen, 3 dozen, 5 dozen, multiple desires. Now, not only we have experiences, not only we form perceptions, we have desires. And now the desires don't remain desires. Desires become hankerings. Can anybody distinguish between the two? What is the difference between a desire and a hankering?
In hankering, you get very anxious about it.
Yeah, you are very, desire means you want it, but hankering means you cannot sleep. You cannot get a good sleep. You are thinking about it all the time. That is hankering. And hankering grows into madness. But begins with desire, becomes hankering, turns into madness. Like Ravana, for example, when he heard from Shurpanaka about Sita's beauty, he had a desire in the beginning. And then after some time, when he went to the forest of Panchavati there, he saw Sita. The desire turned into hankering. Oh, she is Sita, she's very beautiful. I have to get her at any cost. And then he developed a madness for her. Even if I get destroyed, no problem. He got destructive desire. That is madness. So this is the nature of the desires. The desires become hankerings and madness over a period of time. Yeah. And based on the perceptions, we develop 3 bad qualities, 3 bad desires. What are they? Lust, anger, and greed. Lust is actually the desire. Greed means going from need to greed, we say, which means going from necessity to luxury. That is greed. And anger means frustrated desires. They turn into anger when desires are frustrated. So these are again experiences. Frustrated desires is also experience. Hankering desires. So in this way, the experience, the perceptions, the desires developing into hankerings and madness, you will see that these are also stored in the mind. So the scriptures talk about dualities also in this world. Duality means duality, 2. Shita, Ushna. Shita, Ushna is experience. For example, in chill winter, you don't like to stand on a chill floor. You want some chapel or some hot pad, something. And the same chill floor is very joyful for you in summer season. And similarly, hot water is pleasurable in winter season. But the same hot water is painful for you in summer season. You don't like it. Summer season, you feel, what is this hot water? Sometimes we store water in a tank. And when hot water comes in the daytime on a summer season, you hate it. You feel, what is this water? I don't like it. I want a cold water. I want a refreshing experience. Same water. In one season, it is pleasurable. Another season, it is painful. Same floor. One season, it is pleasurable. Another season, it is painful. Similarly, other experiences like, mridutvam, katinatvam, Shastra says that. Like a wooden cot is hard. A soft bed is soft. So that's also experience of katinatvam and mridutvam. Similarly, you have the tastes Tikka means very hot taste or pungent taste, or you have a mild taste. That is also experience. So Shabda, Sparsha, Rasa, Rupa, Gandha. 5 types of taste which you take in through the eyes, nose, ears, tongue, and skin. So all these things give you Sukha Dukkha, sorry, Shita Ushna, Sukha Dukkha, Manapama. Shita Ushna is on the platform of body because Shabda, Sparsha, Rasa, Rupa, Gandha experience. And Sukha Dukkha is the platform of mind, and honor, dishonor is in the platform of ego. Like somebody praises you. Oh, you're a good boy. You feel pleasure. Oh, yeah, he's my friend. He praises me. Somebody, laughs at you or insults you. Oh, that registers as pain. What? How can he say ill about me? He doesn't know how great I am. So our ego is hurt. Say. So that is also duality, honor and dishonor. So body, mind, soul, 3 levels. In the bodily platform, we have Shita Ushna, cold and heat, like that. Physical experiences for the 5 senses, that is body. And in the platform of mind, there is Sukha Dukkha, pleasure and pain. And in the platform of false ego, we have honor and dishonor. So these are the experiences we gain through the senses and mind, the dualities. Okay, now who can recollect what all I told you about the stockpile of the mind? What is there in the stockpile of the mind? I am revising it so that we will not forget it. It's very important. Yeah.
First is experiences.
Yes, yeah, correct. Experiences, yeah, Anubhav. And the experiences we gain through the perceptions, through the senses. 5 senses, we gain experiences, yeah. And the experiences lead to dualities. Pleasure and pain, honor and dishonor, and also, heat and cold, pleasure and pain, honor and dishonor. That means, positive and negative experiences we all gain in the world, and that is stored in the mind. Now, why we are talking about these things today during the chanting session? Because these pleasurable experiences, and they impel us to again and again go for pleasurable experiences. Say you got first rank in the class. Are you satisfied? Of course, you're satisfied, but you want that experience again and again. Next month also I should be first rank. Next year also I should be first rank. And I should always be a winner in life. I should never face any failure. If I fail, then I will think of suicide. Otherwise, I'll keep on winning. So the pleasurable experiences demand us that we should never fail. And the painful experiences lead to what? Anybody can tell me? Say you got a painful experience in life. What is the subsequent thoughts going in the mind when you get painful experience?
Anxiety and negative thoughts.
You get anxiety and negative thoughts, and you want to get rid of the pain as soon as possible. That's one thing.
Yes.
And then? Fear also. Very correct. Once you get a painful experience, then you don't want to see it repeated again. Oh, it's enough. Like you went to a doctor to take an injection. It's very painful. So you don't want one more injection ever in life. Similarly, one fellow got piles. It was so painful. He said when you pass stool, it would do very severely pain. So he thought that to get rid of it, I should never ever get again. He was very careful with his eating habits. Somebody got a constipation, so he'll be careful with eating habits. So we develop fear also by painful experiences. Yeah. What else comes by pain?
Create a perception or opinion.
Yeah, negative conception certainly comes. Actually, if somebody caused you pain, our mind also wants to take revenge against them. We don't want to spare them. You talked ill of me, you caused me painful experience. Now I will not leave you. I will give you back. It's called tit for tat, we call it. We want you slapped me, I'll slap you back. So till we slap them back, we are repeatedly thinking of negative thoughts in the mind. I will take revenge. I will not spare him. So this keeps on arising in the mind. So in this way, you will find that our experiences lead to dualities. And the dualities preoccupy our mind. This is the most important thing, the conclusion of all this discussion on mind. The experiences lead to dualities. Dualities lead to preoccupation of the mind. The preoccupation of the mind makes you forget Krishna and become preoccupied with the material world. Very simple example I'll give you. Some boy, see, all the way he worked hard, he reached America, put his foot in American land, and he got a good university, he got scholarship. He joined the college. So far, so good. But in college, he became attracted to American girl, for example. And then she was also very, welcoming and friendly. And then eventually you find he becomes carried away. Academics is ruined. His health is ruined. His money is ruined. Parents are unhappy. He got carried away in that. So what happens, you feel? Staying in a foreign land, his parents are unhappy. Our son, we sent them to study and earn a degree, but he has gone in another direction in life. He never took permission from us. He never listened to us. The parents are unhappy. They are weeping. The son's academics is ruined. You can see that. Now, why I'm telling you this example, for you will find that when we get into dualities, what happened with him is he got preoccupied in one direction. Correct, no? He went for something and he got preoccupied in another thing. Ajamila went to forest to pluck flowers, but he got preoccupied with something else. You will see like that. So this preoccupation of mind is very dangerous. It gets preoccupied with one thing and then neglects his duties, neglects his responsibilities, neglects his good health, neglects his well-being, and acts against his own interests. Just see how foolish it is. He acts against his own interests. Like, it's like you're taking an axe and hitting your own leg with the axe. It's called Atmaha. If you are having an axe, you should hit a wood or something, tree, and then do some work, not that you hit your own leg. Atmaha means a boy who destroys his own future. That is because of what? Because of preoccupation in duality. So from experiences come dualities. From dualities come preoccupation of the mind. From preoccupation of the mind, we think of destructive thoughts many times, which are unconducive for our own well-being, our own material well-being, our own spiritual well-being. For example, why am I giving you examples? Because from examples you immediately remember. Like Dhruva Maharaj, he got a pleasurable experience or a painful experience?
Painful.
Because he was not even given Shita Ushna or Sukha Dukha. He was given Man Apaman. He was given Apaman. The Apaman produces the deepest impression of experience. Then the result was that he got absorbed in duality. Anybody can say, what did the duality, when he got the dishonor, what is the result of that? Then his mind became preoccupied with what?
Of getting a kingdom bigger than his grandfather.
His mind preoccupied with two things. One was getting a big kingdom to prove to his stepmother that I am no less, I am also great. That is one preoccupation. Another preoccupation? If you understand this subject, you will get very great help in your daily life. You will become internally very strong by understanding the subject. You can chant also with concentration. And while walking through this world of dangers, you can have tremendous courage to face failures, challenges in life. So Dhruva Maharaj, one thing, after dishonor, he got dishonor. The result was he wanted a kingdom bigger than his grandfather and he wanted to know how to get it. He was searching for it. And the mother told him to go to forest and all that. But one more thing preoccupied his mind.
Krishna?
Oh, that would be wonderful. He never thought about Krishna at that time. That after Narada told him, he preoccupied with Krishna. That is the best thing that happened to him, meeting Narada. But before that, when he went to meet his mother, one more thing preoccupied his mind. More than the kingdom also. He had revengeful thoughts against stepmother. He thought that she is senior in age to me, but he wanted to punish her. Because she only insulted me, I want to get even on this case. I don't want to leave her. I want to see her punished and chastised. That is a revengeful thought. So revengeful thought on one hand and accepting, getting a big kingdom on the other hand, both occupied his mind, Dhruva Maharaj's mind. And this is what I told you, from experience comes duality, from duality comes preoccupation of the mind in material affairs. And the material affairs preoccupation makes one forget Krishna. And when one forgets Krishna, one becomes stupid in samsara, sagara, in the ocean of material existence, and repeatedly takes birth and death. So, and I also told you, apart from experience, one more thing I said you get. What do you get? I told you second. Sachin recollected the first one, experience. Anybody else can recollect second one? I said after experience.
Prabhuji, before we do that, can I ask you one question, please?
Yeah. Yes, go ahead. Okay. Yeah.
Prabhuji, I wanted to ask you, like, when we feel like some sort of vengeful or revengeful emotions towards someone,
Yeah.
and it consumes us so much that sometimes it becomes really hard for us to do anything else.
Yeah.
So, how do we overcome that?
Yeah. Actually, that is what Udro Maharaj's mother told him, uh, that, dear boy, if somebody has committed a blunder towards you, then that person will be punished by God, because God is all knowing and God is all good. And everyone is God's child. If one child is snatching the toy of another child, the parents will not keep quiet. Parents will tell, hey, why are you misbehaving with him? Give back the toy. And the mother, father are watching all the children, and they will take the due action. And the mother told him that you can report to God and tell God to take action instead of you taking action, my child. That's what she told. Like, for example, I get a thief in the train or a marketplace who is pickpocketing me. I catch him and hand him over to the police. And then the police will handle him what to do. They'll beat him up and put him behind the bars. That I don't have to do. That the police will do. Because police is authority for law and order. Same thing his mother told. You hand over your stepmother to God. Whatever way God wants to treat her, He will treat her. And you go on thinking about your own progress in life. Now you tell me, should we think of our progress in life, or should we think of pulling others' legs in life?
Prabhuji, we should always look for our progress,
Correct.
but sometimes it depends on what the person has done.
Yeah,
So
correct. So
sometimes it is so infuriating to take your mind on something else. So what do we do when that happens?
exactly. And that is the reason is because we think that it is my duty to take action on that person. Like that, our mind says. Correct, no? Our mind says, X fellow did something to me. So it is my responsibility to take action back on him. But when you become advanced in chanting Hare Krishna, then you understand that actually in this world, sometimes somebody created some headache for me, trouble for me. If I spend time taking action on him, I lose out my good time for my progress. Say, for example, one fellow did some little trouble to you. You had some money loss. Say he cheated you, for example. Now you lost some, say, $1,000, $2,000 because of that fellow. And then he's ridiculing you. He's not giving back. Now your mind thinks that, hey, you not only looted me, you are also ridiculing me that I have got cheated by you. Now I will not cheat you for $1,000 or $2,000. I will cheat you for, some $50,000. And I will show you how intelligent I am. And like that, my mind says. Now, for example, if I have to cheat him for $50,000, that takes a lot of time to make plans and all, correct, no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, it will take a lot of time, my thinking, and I have to go behind him, watch his life, where is he spending, what can I do? So, a lot of our time goes in taking revenge against a person who has done some harm to us. On the contrary, I can tell myself, don't get cheated in life in future, and don't cheat others. Make these two formula in your life. Don't get cheated, don't cheat. Number one. Second thing, this fellow cheated you, keep away from him. He is not good to be friendship with. It's better to keep away from such vicious people. We want virtuous people. We don't want vicious association. Keep away from vicious association. This is the second lesson we learn. Third lesson, I think I must have done something in the past life. I must have taken somebody's money, some $1,000, and now I lost $1,000 in this life. Let me be very careful. At the same time, I am only getting reaction for my own past activity. Just like sometimes our tongue is bitten by teeth, our own teeth. Then what do? Do you take a hammer and break the tooth? You can't do that. It's our own tooth only. So we tolerate it. We say, Why? Foolishly, don't bite the tongue again in future. You just forget it and go on. Similarly, if my own bad karma is coming back now in this life, I took somebody's money and somebody took my money now. Same thing is happening now. Okay, Krishna has given me the fruit of my past actions now. It may be a little painful for me, but I tolerate it. And so third one is tolerated. So first one I told you that don't get cheated, don't cheat others. And secondly, I told you, keep away from vicious people, associate with virtuous people. And thirdly, you learned a lesson that I am reaping the fruits of my own karma, which is coming from previous life to this life. Purva janma arjita punyam agre davati dhavati. Similarly, Purva janma arjita papam agre davati davati, which means the punya and papa done in the previous life that it follows in the next subsequent lives. Slowly it comes. Like a seed sown in the ground slowly grows into a plant and a tree and produces flowers and fruits. Like that it comes gradually. So we accept it as inevitability coming in our life. Certain things are inevitable, we accept it. So after having done these three steps, then fourth step you can think of, let me not allow my mind to preoccupy in dualities. Rather, let me think about my progress. So is that clear, Akash?
Yes, Prabhuji. Can I ask a subsequent question, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Sorry, but I just wanted to ask you if there is a way for us to figure out that the kind of condition that we are in, like if something bad happens to us, is it because of something that we did in this lifetime or the one before, like before the previous ones?
Actually, what happens in this lifetime, if I did something, sometimes you get an instant reaction. Like I slap somebody, somebody slaps me immediately back. That's called instant reaction. Or I eat some heavy item today night, late night. The next day morning, I suffer from indigestion. The result comes little 6 hours later. When you slap, the result comes immediately. Whereas eating heavy foods, then the result comes 6 hours later. If I don't study during the semester, then and the exam results come after 6 months. At that time, I suffer. Some results come after next day. Some results come after 6 months. Similarly, in youth, if a person has taken to drugs and smoking, drinking, then after some few years, the results come. He suffers terribly. Similarly, in youth, somebody earned a lot of money and they squandered all the wealth. In retirement, they suffer. Like this, the results keep coming like this, like this, like this, like this. At different intervals, it comes. So some of the results before they come, before that death comes in between. Because death has interfered with results coming. So the results are now stocked in the mind and they are given in the next life. Is that clear?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, very clear.
Yeah. So therefore, most people, students in this world, they see that I am a body now and I can eat, sleep and drink and mate and then I will die. That's all they think. They don't know. But actually, we are not the body. The body is only a vehicle for the soul. And the soul is seated in this bodily machine, yantra rudhani maya. And the soul is surrounded by the mind, the subtle body, mind, intelligence, and ego, that body, the subtle body. And in the mind, he stores all these things which I told you, beginning with, experiences. From the experiences, he gets. Then what I told you from experiences, he gets
Dualities.
Dualities, and from the dualities produce strong impressions in the mind also. And based on dualities, he becomes preoccupied with the dualities. When he's preoccupied, he forgets Krishna and turns away. Yeah, another example I'll tell you, Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was blind by birth, and his brother Pandu was ruling the kingdom. But Dhritarashtra was feeling that I am elder brother, and Pandu is my younger brother, and also Vidura is my younger brother. Being the eldest brother, who should be the king? I should be the king. But I'm not able to be king because I am blind. So this caused him some kind of inferiority complex. The inferiority complex, inferiority complex is not just being inferior. Inferiority complex means you too much consider it a curse and keep on preoccupying in your mind, thinking I am low, I am low, I am low, like that. That was his preoccupation. So because of that inferiority complex preoccupation in the mind, at the same time, Pandu had the desire to more spend time with the rishis in the forest. He was very saintly in nature. He went to the forest more, and then when he left his body, Dhritarashtra was secretly happy. Now Pandu has gone, and Vidura is Dasiputra. He can't become king. So by default, I become the king. Actually, he wasn't the king. He was actually occupying the post in charge for some time. And then he hatched a plot to make his son the king. That was actually sons don't deserve to become the king, because Pandu's son should become the king. So you can see this. Now, what happened with Dhritarashtra? In his mind, he had a desire turned into hankering turned into madness to the point of destroying the Pandavas and favoring his sons to become the kings. So in our mind also, we should never allow our desires to go to the point of hankerings for useless things of the world. And then developing madness, moha. Moha we call it. Moha means illusion. And moha, when it comes to moha stage, it becomes madness actually. So in this way, in our mind, there are experiences, there are perceptions, there are desires, and all of this take bigger shape, multiply. And this is the reason for modern day youth suffering from depression, loneliness, confusion, bewilderment, insecurity, suicidal thoughts, and indecision in life. All these things arise from tamoguna, which the mind gets preoccupied with. So now one of the advantages that you all have as devotees, you know that these impressions are not you. You are different from them. You are observing them. Just like, for example, if you, in those days, we used to have an aluminum box when we would go to school days. Now, if you open the aluminum box, we would put the books inside. Correct, no? You keep what books I should take to school today. Sometimes what some students would do, they would put all the books inside because it is late for the school. Put all the books and carry and bring it back. Next day, you take all the books. Or those boys who are very planned with time, what they will do, hey, I don't need all the books. I only have 5 periods today. I will take only those books and those notebooks. But some people take all the books and all notebooks every day and go and come. So what is the difference between the two?
The student who is not planned, he has to carry heavy stuff.
Yeah, that's correct. He has to carry heavy stuff every day. Actually, whatever is in his cupboard, he puts inside the box. And he takes it to school and comes back every day. Whereas other fellows carrying 1/3 of this weight. I have seen that in my school days. So he's smart. Is it not true? Similarly, all of you, when you become devotees, you can become smart. How? You can decide what thoughts I should keep in the mind, worthy of carrying. And unwanted stock, you throw it out of the mind. Then mind becomes light. And that is the meaning of a devotee. Devotee knows what are constructed. So there are 4 types of thoughts, out of which 2 you have to keep and 2 you have to reject. What are the 4? Positive thoughts, for example. Thoughts of joy, cheerfulness, kindness, courtesy, humility, tolerance, patience. And all these are respect for other living beings. These are all positive thoughts. Then there are negative thoughts, like the revengeful attitude, anger, madness, lust, greed. These are negative thoughts. Then there are routine thoughts. As soon as you get up in the morning, oh, now I am studying MS or PhD. I have to go to college. I have to attend these classes. I have to go to library. I should do this research. Oh, I have to type this. I have to submit this assignment. So these are all routine thoughts. Where to-do list. You make a to-do list for today, and then for the week and for the month, you make your schedules, planners, deadlines and all those things. These are routine thoughts. Oh, I have to take my bath. Oh, I have to wash my clothes. I have to shave up. So these are also routine thoughts. And the routine thoughts include needs of the body and needs of your academics and profession and all those things to be done. Somebody has requested something from you that you have to do it. You note it down and keep it. So these are all routine thoughts. In routine thoughts, there may be repeated activities most of the days, and some included activities which come depending on your interaction with other living beings. So these are routine thoughts. And the 4th one is wasteful thoughts. What are the wasteful thoughts? Thoughts of the past. Oh, instead of civil engineering department, if I got computer science, it would have been so good. Civil engineering means I have to stay out in the hot sun, or sometimes I have to supervise. If I got computer science, many of my friends who got computer science, that's considered a very enviable thing. So for example, I already got into some field, like I'm a mechanical engineer. And I feel always that mechanical engineering is bad. I could have gone for computer science. Then that thought is the wasteful thought. Why? A lot of my mental energy is wasted in that. It really becomes a burdensome thing. Oh, it is bad. This profession is bad. Nobody will respect me. It is my perception I am forming. In every profession, you can shine. And everyone who shines is highly respected also, naturally. You don't have to necessarily be this or that. Yeah, every bird is unique. Parrot has its beauty. Peacock has its beauty. We don't have to be like somebody else. God has created you uniquely. Birds are birds, fishes are fishes, monkeys are monkeys. Monkey can do tree climbing, fish can do swimming. Now imagine if a rabbit want to do tree climbing, he will get a brain hemorrhage if he tries to do tree climbing. A rabbit is not meant for that. So the point is what? You will see that what was he saying just prior to this? Rabbit and monkey and fish example. You are unique, I was telling. You don't have to be like somebody else. So I was telling about Dhritarashtra, isn't it? So Dhritarashtra's mind became filled with dualities, preoccupied with the thought, negative thoughts. I will tell you about 4 thoughts I told you. Positive thoughts, negative thoughts, routine thoughts, wasteful thoughts. Wasteful thoughts are thoughts of the past. And also wasteful thoughts are thoughts of the future, dreaming. Is dreaming good or bad? It can be good or bad, either way, because if you're dreaming and dreaming and dreaming and not doing anything, then you're called as a daydreamer. Therefore, goal setter and daydreamer are different. Can any of you say, how is a goal setter different from daydreamer? How is it different?
A goal setter has a deadline, whereas a dream does not have.
That means goal setting means dreaming with the deadline. That is goal setting. And daydreaming means keep on dreaming, don't do anything. So out of the two, which is counted in wasteful thoughts?
Daydreaming is a wasteful thought.
Daydreaming, that is wasteful thought. So daydreaming about the future, if only, that is like daydreaming. And what if, like that. If only is the past, what if is the future. So both these things come in wasteful thoughts. So in this way, out of these 4 thoughts, which are the 2 thoughts from your head you should remove out of the box of your mind and throw it out? And which are the other 2 you should carry with you? Like I told you about the school box, where the boy is dumping the whole cupboard into the box and then carrying like a donkey, heavy weight. Instead of that, he can throw away unwanted books. So which are the unwanted thoughts we can throw out and carry the thoughts which we should carry?
Prabhuji, past experiences.
Is it good to carry or not?
No, it's not good to carry.
It is only good to carry if it can teach some lessons to us. Otherwise,
Yes.
it is useless. Yeah. Thank you. Anybody else? One more? Akash found out one thing.
All the negative.
Negative thoughts should be thrown out. Horrible. Is there any fool in this world who will keep the garbage inside his room? Like one time I was staying in a room when I had in my travels. What my assistant was doing, he was putting all the garbage, the vegetable and the fruit cover garbage and all into one dustbin which was inside the room. And the dustbin was not properly closed. It was not getting fully closed. It was partially getting closed. Because of it, a lot of mosquitoes started coming. And in the night, when I was sleeping, I found they didn't have a mosquito net there. These mosquitoes created a lot of trouble for me. Whole night I couldn't sleep. And I was wondering, I told my assistant, hey, this area is full of mosquitoes. Then the managers there told, oh, there is no mosquitoes in this area. It's a very clean area, they said. Then we found the area is not a mosquito-ridden area. I mean, the mosquitoes are coming because of the dustbin. Immediately I told my assistant, hey, throw this out. Dustbin, not only keep it out, also periodically throw this far away in the garbage dump. If you're keeping it here, my peace of mind is spoiled because of this. So the wasteful thoughts, if you keep in your mind, like a dustbin inside the room, then mosquito-like problems will keep on stinging you. You can't be peaceful. Therefore, we should throw out wasteful thoughts and which is the other thought, negative thoughts. Negative thoughts and wasteful thoughts should be thrown out. And positive thoughts and routine thoughts should be kept. But although the whole world knows about it, even people who are not devotees also know about it. But you cannot do that unless you have willpower. You need the willpower to choose what you want, and you need the willpower to reject what you should not purchase in a shopping mall. When you go to a shopping mall, how many youths end up purchasing things which they don't need at all, simply to impress the other boys. There are many people who purchase commodities to impress others, although it's not useful to them. So therefore, choosing the right ones and rejecting the wrong ones is very difficult. It requires willpower. So how do we get the willpower? Anybody? What is willpower? Willpower means take vows and stick to vows. That is willpower. And not having willpower means take vows and give up the vows. Giving up the vows. That means no willpower. Yes,
Prabhuji,
no.
I think
Yeah.
I think we receive willpower when we have a proper reasoning behind what we are doing and why we are doing it.
That is correct. But even with reasoning also, sometimes people know that this is bad for me. Like many boys who know smoking cigarette, no, smoking is bad. Even after knowing, even it's written in the cigarette also, cigarette smoking is injurious to health. Why they still smoke, even after having reasoning also?
Because you lack mental strength.
He's saying he lacks mental strength. Okay.
Less commitment.
Less commitment. That is also correct, Chandan. Chandan also is correct. They're not committed to sticking to the right thing. But what stopped them from sticking? That was the question I was asking. What do they need for them to be able to stick to the right thing?
Because you're not.
Mind should be in control of intelligence. The intelligence is strong enough. That's all.
Intelligence should be strong. Okay. Now, intelligence tells you the right thing. This is the right thing to do. But even after discriminating and knowing this is the right thing to do, what stops them from doing only the right thing? Like, for example, I will keep positive thoughts and routine thoughts with me, and negative thoughts and wasteful thoughts I will drop it. Why am I not able to do that? Hey, I think Hemang. Yes, Hemang?
Probably willpower.
Willpower, you are right. So now I come back to the same question to Hemang. How do we get that willpower? What stops us from having that willpower?
Not practicing. We never practiced building the willpower.
Okay, we never practiced building willpower. That's a good
Prabhuji,
point.
I think it's because there are so many material distractions that we get because of
Lack of
that
focus. We have lack of
we
focus.
lose sight of what is important, and because of that
Many good points are coming now. Many good points are coming. One point Akash said is that we lose sight of what is important for us, and we become preoccupied with things which are useless in life. Then it is like a lens. Imagine you have a lens. You are shaking it. Can a shaking lens have a focal point? Will you be able to burn a paper or cotton while shaking a lens?
no problem.
Similarly, if my mind is shaky, thinking this and that, the mind is running here, there, all over the place is running, then I lose focus. So one very good point Akash Prabhu captured is losing focus. Chandan told one more good point. I don't remember. What was that? Just before this?
We don't practice willpower.
But
Like
another very important. We don't practice focus. We don't practice concentration. We practice distraction in the modern times. You take the smartphone, we practice distraction. You take a TV, you practice distraction. You go in the marketplace, we practice distraction. So instead of practicing focus, we are practicing distraction. Therefore, we become expert in getting distracted. That's what the whole world is becoming, if you see. This Netflix company, I heard that these people put thousands and thousands of videos, and people, in a short time, they want to watch long hours of videos. And their goal is to divert all the living beings from all other occupations to come into Netflix. So that is how the world is teaching us distraction. So these are two good points have come out. Akash made the point of not keeping focus on what is important for us and getting distracted by unimportant things. Like one time, my senior devotee, Radheshyam, was going to Calcutta. He was carrying a projector in the hand, which is 5,000 rupees. And suddenly he saw some two new fresh currency notes, 100 rupee notes, were actually flying on the ground near the station. He thought, hey, such new currency notes are fallen on the ground. Immediately he kept the projector down and picked up those 200 rupee notes. And then when he picked it up and turned around, projector was not there. And that was gone. So you understand what happened exactly?
Yes, Prabhu.
You know, the thief wanted the projector, which is 5,000 rupees. So he threw a 200 rupee. So when Prabhuji picked up he picked up the projector. But Prabhuji was intelligent. And then he immediately looked 360 degrees around. He moved all around and saw, is there anybody running with the projector? And he did see the fellow running with the projector. He said, thief, thief, he shouted. Immediately all the people surrounded, they bet up the thief, and the thief dropped the projector and ran away. So at least Prabhuji could get the projector back after that. So in this world, so for him, what is important, what is unimportant?
For him, the projector is important. The 200 rupees was not so important, but he still got both of it in this encounter.
While taking the 200 rupees, he should not have kept the projector down. And this is what happens with most of the youths. They don't know what is important and they run behind what is unimportant or what is less important. That point was made by Akash, made that point, I think. Correct, no, Akash?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, and then Chandan made another point about abhyas, not practicing focus. Actually, focus will increase if you practice repeatedly. Day after day, month after month, you keep on chanting, making an effort to focus on the hearing of the holy name, you will gain focus by repeated practice. Abhyas yena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihati. Krishna says, abhyas means focus on the right thing. And vairagya means keep away from less important things or useless things which are distracting you. Keep away, he says. These two things were Akash and Chandan captured these two very important points. And before that, Hemang told the point that willpower actually is required for keeping the positive thoughts and the routine thoughts and throwing away the wasteful thoughts and negative thoughts. So now I was asking all of you a question, how to get that willpower. So two answers came, Abhyasa and Vairagya. Those two answers have come. But there is one more thing which leads to willpower. Actually, willpower means, knowing the right thing and taking a vow that I will do the right thing. And when you stick to the right thing with effort, then your willpower is increased. For example, I make a vow that I will climb Tirupati Balaji hill. I will not take a car. And then 4 or 5 friends go up. After they go half the hill, then some of them say, you guys go ahead, I'm looking for a car now. That means he has no willpower. He made a vow, but he couldn't stick to it. Then car people asked him, will anybody want to come with us? Then he will board the car and relax behind. He couldn't keep the vow. But if you take a vow and keep the vow, then your determination is increased by that. That is one of the ways to increase the determination. Like you decide that I will chant 4 rounds every day, Hare Krishna. That is the vow. And then no matter what, either I finish in the morning or I'll do 2 rounds in the morning, 2 rounds in the afternoon. Or even if it is not possible in the afternoon, night I'll come back and finish. So you take a vow and stick to the vow, then gradually your determination increases. Like, there were boys who were chanting 1 round, but now they have come to 8 rounds. How are they able to do? There are other boys who say, I can't increase beyond 1 round. Which is very, very similar to weightlifting. When you do weightlifting, initially you can only lift 50 pounds. Even that is very difficult for you. Then they add weights to it. Then your capacity increases. After some time, they add even more weights to it. Then it becomes 80 pounds, 100 pounds, 150 pounds, 200 pounds. You will not believe that you can do so much. Your capacity tremendously increases. So because your muscles have become more elastic, you have developed strength. Just as your bodily muscles are elastic, your mental muscles are also elastic. You have a tremendous capacity which you are unaware of, just like Hanuman was unaware of. You will be surprised about our brain itself. Many people across the globe, scientists say that our brain has a capacity to store thousands and thousands of books can be stored in the brain. The brain itself has capacity. Mind has even bigger capacity than the brain also. Brain is like a hardware, mind is like a software. So we have to, like people wonder sometimes how this person can remember thousands of shlokas. You can remember the whole Bhagavad Gita. I know people who know the whole Bhagavatam, 18,000 shlokas. by heart. They even close the Bhagavatam book and recite. There are Brahmanas in India who do that. So, Taittiriya Upanishad, one of the men in my father's demise, one Brahmana had come, we were doing Taittiriya Upanishad, he was reciting. 3 hours he recited without seeing the book. He just closed the eyes, Brahmana sitting, he was just like we chant this Rudram, we used to chant Namaste, Yast Bhagavan Vishweshwaraya Mahadevaya Trayam Bhagaya Tripuran. We go on, cut. People may wonder how this person is going on and on, because mind has the capacity. So you take a vow and stick to the vow and abhyas, practice, as you were telling. And vairagya, give up things which are not good for us. Throw them out of the window. Don't keep garbage inside the room. Throw the garbage outside the room. And keep things that are important for you. Going to the school means in your school box, spend at least 5 minutes. Think what I need to carry. Only that you put. Sometimes even I have seen in my travels, I'll tell my assistant, please take those 10 books. I don't know which one is important right now. In the flight, I will decide. So I take all the books. When you go to the airport, they will say, oh, your luggage is heavy. You can't take it inside the flight. You have to put it in the check-in. So much time goes in check-in and going to the bag drop to pick up the baggage claim and all that. But later on, I see, I read none of the books in my flight. I spent all my time in computer. We carry so much and we bring so much without doing anything. So therefore, in your bag, carry only things which are important for you. So for that, we need willpower, as Hemang rightly said. And willpower is easily increased by chanting Hare Krishna. You will not believe, in the Western world, the hippies had so many bad habits. Drinking, smoking, drugs, womanizing, so many dirty, nasty habits they had. They could drive it all out simply by chanting Hare Krishna. That one good habit they cultivated. And all bad habits were driven out. You will see that. So today you learned a lot of things about the mind. Now it will be very easy. Many deeper things you have learned now. When you go to the notes, it will be cakewalk. Very simple things are mentioned in the notes. I have gone more than what was given in the notes. If you see here, please read it further. The mind has 3 aspects: superconscious mind, conscious mind, and subconscious mind. The subconscious serves as a storehouse of memories and past experiences, and intelligence performs the function of discriminating and making decisions. The mind is like a lake on which rise and fall innumerable waves of thoughts known as vrittis. In the average person, thousands of vrittis appear in the mind at every minute. See, vrittis means small desires. And there are 3 Sanskrit words used, which are also very important. You all can remember these 3 words. Vritti, Vasana, Sanskar, we call it. Sanskar means impression. I will give you examples so you will easily remember. Like you are making a cement floor, which is wet now. Sometimes the children run over the wet cement floor with their shoes on, and father may say, hey, beta, don't walk over the cement. It's newly laid now, floor. It will form the shoe impression. But the child has already run over it and came into the house. Now, next day, the father sees that the deep impression of the child's shoe has come on the cement floor. Now, whenever you throw water, what happens? Water goes and gets stagnated there. This is called sanskar. Sanskar means we have acted in positive or negative ways in our life, which have formed impressions in our mind. Again and again, mind goes towards that. If we did good things, like one boy, one parents came with a small boy. I was giving prasad to him. He was refusing to take it. He said, wait a minute. Then he went and washed his hands and came and then showed the hand. I asked, why you didn't take it? He said, sir, I put my shoe lace. Therefore, I wanted to wash my hand. It was impure. Because he's trained nicely. Good sanskar he got in cleanliness. And there are other people who have a bad sanskar. They sleep with their shoes on in the room. They never sweep the floor in the room. They hang all the clothes on the hanger. Dozens of clothes are hanging dirty. And they keep the room littered with paper because unclean. That's opposite sanskar. Bad sanskar. So we all have good sanskar, bad sanskar, which form impressions in our mind. That's called sanskar. Some scar. Scar, that body we say, scar. Like that, some scars are formed, impressions in the mind. And secondly, vritti. Vritti means the waves that arise in the mind. That the new desires are arising slowly. One desire you brought and then multiple desires arise. Like when you throw a stone, like that you throw a stone in a pond, it leads to some ripples. So a bigger stone, then bigger waves are formed like that. Similarly, you have small desire, then some disturbance happens in the mind. You have bigger desire, say cork ball, you throw in the water. that produces little waves. That is like agitated. Mind earlier was disturbed, now it's agitated. You throw a football-sized stone into the pond, like that is throw. And then big tides rise, which is like, you're totally out of control. You understand? No? So these are vrittis, smaller vrittis, bigger vrittis, and very huge vrittis arise in the mind. And when those desires arise, that is where people lose control in life. They run after things in this world. And the third thing is called vasanas. What is vasana? Like you have a liquor pot. You throw the liquor out, wash it with water, and then you dry it with a dry cloth. And you smell it, still liquor smell comes. You will see that. That is the vasana. Vasana means even after having given up the bad activity, still the old desires keep lurking in the mind. The old habits, like we say, the habits die hard. They don't die very easily. They don't go away. Habit means you remove H, habit remains. If you remove A, bit remains. Remove B, it remains. Like that, the habits, little bit remains. That's called vasana. What is still clinging to us, that's called vasana.
It can also be called asakti, Prabhuji, right?
Correct. Asaktis. Yeah, attachments. Yes, attachment comes from the vasanas, repeated attachments. Yeah. So that's what here is explaining. You are right. So here is explaining the mind is like a lake on which rise and fall innumerable waves of thoughts known as vrittis. The average person, thousands of vrittis appear in the mind every minute. The finite soul is passive witness of all that is perceived. Thought is the most powerful force in the universe and it initiates all action. Therefore, it is that watch your thoughts, they may become words. Watch your words, they may become actions. Watch your habits, they may become habits. Watch your habits, because your regular habits may form character. And watch your character, because from character comes culture, it is said. So in this way, everything starts with a thought, pure thought or impure thought. And later on, it's carried out on a physical plane. If you all remember, I told you, first you desire a house, then you make a blueprint for a house, then you build the house. Similarly, when you were all studying in India, a thought arose in your mind. Oh, I don't want to study in a mediocre college. I want to study in a good college. So what is the premier institute in India? Okay, IITs and NITs are pretty popular. They have a JEE exam. So I also want to become an IITian or NITian. You had a desire when you were in 8th or 9th standard. So you prepared for it. Then you got right. Then while you were studying in a good institute, you thought, oh, going abroad is considered very great. And if you return with a foreign degree, it's very valuable in India. So that means a seed idea came in your mind. And that seed idea has taken shape now. That idea grew up to a point where you made a blueprint. What is the blueprint? Getting the GRE TOEFL books, preparing, studying for the exams, and then knowing all the good universities and applying pre-apps, all that you did. That is a blueprint. And then now, the third thing is what has already happened now. You already gone to America now, joined the universities now. You have registered yourself for the course. So everything has 3 stages. One is in the mind, one is the blueprint, and third is practical action. And that is what he is saying here. Thought is the most powerful force. It initiates all actions. All work is first completed in the mind. Good work or bad work, everything starts with the thought. That carried out on the physical plane. And then now what follows is very simple now. Mind is conversing with itself, discussing pros and cons and options. The mind is always conversing with itself, wandering down the memory lane, discussing the pros and cons of various options, planning for the future. One can silence the internal dialogue by loudly chanting Krishna's holy names and begging for mercy. The Supreme Lord controls every inch of creation. So if he desires, he can easily control one pagalman, crazy mind. Habits and desires from a previous life or in this life are ingrained and embedded in the mind as sanskaras. When these latent habits and desire manifest, the mind pushes one to act in a particular way. It can push in a good way or a bad way. For example, I have done some bhakti yoga in the previous life. Now my mind will push me to go to temple, take Bhagavad Gita, read, and push me to eat good food. That is also very good. That's a good push. And there's a bad push also. If I have done some dirty things in the past, those dirty things will impel me with lust now. Therefore, Krishna says 3 gateways to hell, he says. Trividam narakasyedam varam nashanam atmanaha tama krodha kata lobhas tasmat etatrayam tyajet. Krishna says. There are 3 great enemies, Arjun, to your progress in life. Lust, anger, and greed. Give up these 3 things which are gateways to hell, like that Krishna is telling. So those are also pushing the mind. So good things push the mind, bad things push the mind, but bad things push even more. We have experience of that because we are in conditioned stage now. And then what is explained is astonishing parade of thoughts and people, desires and things rushing out of the subconscious mind, which I will tell you tomorrow. Because till now, this is talking about mind, the nature of working of the mind. Now, we will talk about subconscious mind, and that's it. After that, we will come to concentration. It will be very easy to understand. That is the last part of this lesson. How to, because all these discussions we are doing is for what? To gain willpower, focus, and concentration. That's the purpose. By chanting Hare Krishna, your willpower increases, because chanting Hare Krishna means focusing on only hearing the holy name. One thing at a time. Although mind wants to go to dozen things, no, you tell the mind, don't do multi processing. Stop everything else. That's why when you come to temple and sit calmly, close your eyes and take a deep breathing, you feel very nice, because you should do only one thing with the focus and concentration. And then that actually repeated chanting cleanses the mind. And purified mind develops determination. Impure mind wanders like a ghost everywhere. When mind is purified, more mind is purified like a serene lake. In a lake, you can even see the pebbles below. It's a clear lake, and the moon which falls, the reflection of the moon and the lake is seen without any disturbance. But a disturbed lake, imagine if a lake has disturbed waters like, big waves. In that, can you see the moon? You can't see. In disturbed water, you cannot see. In disturbed mind, you can't focus. But when the mind is like a serene lake, the full moon is beautifully seen in the lake. Similarly, Lord Paramatma in our heart can be visibly seen, very clearly seen when the mind is undisturbed. Then we become very calm, cool, collected. And in calm, cool, collected mind, there is creative thoughts. There is willpower, there is focus, there is concentration, and there is inner joy and cheerfulness. All good qualities will come. So thank you. I have exceeded the time a little bit. But these were very important things. What we discussed is a very deep message today about the mind. So you think about these things. Tomorrow when I come, I will revise for the first 5 minutes about what I shared today, because it's a very deep knowledge today. And then we proceed. Mostly we will complete this lesson tomorrow, I believe, mostly. Thank you. Thank you very much. Shri Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Actually, what you learned today, you can even share with your friends in the college. You will enjoy it, because there are friends who are looking for this knowledge, isn't it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
There are many students, poor students, they have no direction or guidance in life, due to which their mind is creating a hell for them, but they don't know the nature of working on the mind. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna teaches these things in a very systematic manner. So if you, whatever you learn today, you go and speak to some of your friends, and that will become, like it's called Mananam, we call it. Mananam means recollecting what you learned. And by recollecting what you learned, then it becomes a permanent asset. You will not forget it. You will remember it, and then by repeating, we remember. So when I come, I'll revise it tomorrow and we proceed further. Thank you. Hare Krishna.